Welcome to this twisting yoga flow sequence. Twists are really good for keeping mobility into our whole trunk, as well as toning through the muscles of the core. We're going to start this class in child's pose. So if you widen your knees towards the edges of your mat, let your big toes come to touch, sink your hips down towards your heels, and then slide your hands away from you and let your forehead come to rest down onto your mat. Use your hands against the floor to give a gentle press down, to shift your weight backwards a little more, sinking the hips nice and heavy down towards the heels. Start taking some nice deep breaths into the sides of the body, feeling the space within the lungs expand, and softly exhaling to allow yourself to soften and sink. Take another one here to breathe in and breathing out. Maybe choosing to stack your hands up onto fingertips to give a little extra lift to the arms, finding a bit more openness into the shoulders and the upper body. One more here, breathing in. And then as you breathe out, walk your hands off to the right side of the mat. So both hands walking the same direction, chest is coming towards the right knee. And then either leave your hands as they are here, or you can put the left hand on top of the right hand to deepen that side body stretch in the left side of the body. Focusing your breath into that side, so as you inhale, feel a little bit of extra length there. And as you exhale, keep encouraging your left sit bone closer down towards your left heel. Again, to lengthen as you breathe in, and soften as you breathe out. Use your inhale to walk your hands all the way back to the center, towards the middle, and then exhale to go all the way over to the left. Think of your belly squishing close towards your thigh, your chest reaching out towards your left knee. And again, if you want to deepen that side body stretch, the right hand can place on top of the left. Each breath in, make sure ribs grow apart from one another on that right side. And each breath out to allow yourself to stay soft, sinking the weight down towards your heels. Last one, breathing in. And then breathing out to walk your hands via the center, and then all the way in until you're sat up onto your shins. Bringing your knees a little closer together and sitting onto your heels, and then interlacing your hands, turning your palms to face forwards. Press the palms away from you as you broaden your shoulder blades and push your spine out behind you, chin to the chest. Breathing in, take the hands to the sky and gaze up towards them. And then as you breathe out, release your hands, interlace them behind your back, and breathing in, fist towards your feet and chest opens towards the sky. Releasing the hands, same again, one more time, interlacing the palms, pressing the palms forwards, chin pulls to the chest, really hollowing out the front of the body. Use the inhale, hands rise to the sky, gaze up towards them. And then exhale to release, interlacing the hands, keeping the palms as close together as you can. Breathe in, draw the fist to the floor, the chest to the sky, and really squeeze your shoulder blades together. Holding here, take a nice deep inhale. And then as you exhale, belly comes to your thigh, chin comes to your chest. Lift your fist as far away from your body as you can, and maybe your forehead can rest to the floor. Don't worry if it doesn't, just allow your body weight to tip forwards, squeezing your shoulder blades together to lift the fist away from the body. Hold just one more breath. And then as you exhale, allow yourself to unravel, come all the way back up onto the shins, sitting nice and tall. Right hand onto the floor next to you, maybe just fingertips. Inhale, left arm reaches all the way up to the sky. Let your hips push a little bit to the left as you reach up and over, and taking your gaze to the sky as if you're trying to look slightly under that arm. A nice big long side body stretch into that left side, breathing in. And then as you breathe out, that hand in the sky is going to place behind you. Maybe it can hold on to your right foot, and then your right hand spins across to the outer of the opposite thigh to help you twist and look over your left shoulder. So we're trying to keep the ribs on top of the hips sitting nice and tall. Think of lifting upwards and using a press and a pull against your feet and your legs to allow your body to keep turning. Holding your twist here, breathe in. And breathing out to come back to center. Left hand out onto the floor next to you. Breathe in, right arm to the sky, pulling all the way up. And then with an exhale, go a little bit over. The hips push out to the right, so you can sort of slide off your heels a little. Roll the shoulder back and take your gaze to the sky. Keep your hips nice and heavy down onto your heels. Keep drawing the arm away from the torso. Breathing in.
And then breathing out, the arm in the sky places behind you, either onto the mat or you might be able to bind to the foot, and then left hand to hold the outer of the thigh as you twist over your right shoulder. Inhales to find length and space within the chest. And exhales to keep finding your twist. Draw your belly in towards your spine. Last one, breathing in. And then breathing out all the way back to the center. And then placing your hands alongside your thighs, fingertips in line with your kneecaps. Keep your shoulder blades nice and broad across your upper back and the weight to stay forwards into the hands. Breathe in, allow your knees to float away from the mat and lift them as high away from the floor as you can. Breathing out, slowly allow them to come back down. Same again. Breathing in, push into the hands, round the back, hug the belly in towards the spine as you lift. And as you exhale, lower back down. Now, if that's not hard enough, make it a little bit harder. Take your hands off towards the right side of your legs. So your left hand is just next to your left knee, but your body is twisting over towards the right side. You're going to think of doing the same again, but this left knee is going to think of tracking up your left arm. So round your spine. Inhale, draw the knee high up towards the armpit, and then place it back down. One more on this same side. Breathe in, float the knee up towards the armpit and all the way back down. Great, over to the other side. Right hand just next to the right knee. Chest points off towards the left far corner. Rounded spine, shoulder blades nice and broad. Breathing in, drag that left knee up your right arm. And breathing out, slowly lower it down. Just one more. Breathe in, lifting, holding, squeezing. And then as you exhale, let them come all the way back down. Great. Come back to the center. We'll do one more here. And as you lift your hips, we're going to try and lift all the way up into a forward fold. So push down into the arms, lift the knees towards the collarbones, keep lifting your hips, and then see if you can turn your feet over. Feet to be hip distance apart now, knees to stay bent. Belly and thigh rest together. As you flop your arms over, allow yourself, if you want to take a soft little sway into a ragdoll fold. If you want to cross your arms, if that's more comfortable, then please do. Keep pressing the hips towards the sky, so you're lengthening out the back of the legs. The shoulders and the neck are nice and loose and floppy and feeling nice and heavy as they pull down towards the floor. Keep compressing your ribs towards your thighs and drawing your belly in towards your spine. And then releasing your hands to come to the floor. You can always choose to use a block if the floor is too far away. It gives your hamstrings a little extra room. Place your left fingertips or palm to the floor underneath your nose. And as you inhale, send your right arm to the sky. Keep your heels planted to the floor, but your left knee can bend a little if it needs to help your body turn. We're prioritizing straightening out that right leg as best we can. Squeeze the kneecap up towards the hip to keep that right quad nice and firm. Either stay with the arm in the sky, or as you exhale, take that arm over your lower back to find your left sort of bum cheek. Left arm that's on the floor goes between the thighs to see if it can find your fingertips behind your back into a bind. You can always use a strap if you need to help your hands connect, or as I said, you can stay in your extended version. Rolling that right shoulder back, breathe in. And then breathing out, bring that hand to the floor. We'll come straight the other side. So right hand down. Inhale, left arm to the sky. Turn your torso. Right knee can bend if it needs to. Keep the heels planted to the floor. Keep turning the chest to face up towards the top hand. Breathing in. If you wanted to try the bind, take that right hand, that top hand, over to the right side. The hand on the floor goes between the legs to see if you can find your own hand into the bind. Think of keeping your torso and your thigh compressed together nice and close to enable that bind to come a little bit easier to you. Roll the left shoulder back, gaze to the sky, and keep working that left leg towards straight. Holding here, take one more breath in. And then breathing out, undo, hands to come back to the floor. We're then going to walk the hands all the way out to the top of the mat, coming into a high plank. So shoulders come on top of the wrists. Heels are pushing out behind us to find lots of length in the back line of the body. Tailbone stays tucked to help draw the belly up towards the spine. Nice firm press into the hands. Keep the shoulder blades nice and broad across your upper back. Take a nice deep breath in. And then as you exhale, let your weight tip forwards towards your fingertips. We're coming to the floor, so dropping the knees for support. Elbows stay glued to next to your rib cage as you come all the way to the floor, belly and chest to find the mat at the same time. Reach out through your toes as you inhale, float your chest, look forwards, squeeze your shoulder blades together. Don't use your hands much here. Option to float your hands as well. On your exhale, hands back to the floor. Roll back via your knees, tuck your toes, lift your hips into the sky to come into down dog. Now see if you can stay stationary here. It seems to become a habit to automatically pedal the legs out every time you come into down dog. But the hamstrings should be a little bit warmer. So find a stationary shape here. A soft bend in the knees, sit bones to the sky, heels pressing towards the mat. Keeping the whole palm of the hand pushing into the floor, particularly your index finger, and your belly drawing in towards your spine. So from your down dog, take a very small step forward. So you've just shortened your dog ever so slightly. Keep your chest pushing back towards your legs. We're then going to take the right hand and reach towards the left ankle. So right hand, left ankle. Taking your gaze under that left armpit, dropping the right shoulder towards the mat into a twisted down dog. So left arm is supporting us, push the body weight back and keep pressing down, heels towards mat. Don't worry if they don't touch down, and keep a soft bend in those knees to help your hamstrings here. Breathing in, and then breathing out, place that hand back on the floor. Your right foot is going to transition to the top of the mat between your hands. Drop down your back knee to the floor and keep your toes tucked under. Take a deep breath in and lift your chest away from your thigh into a low lunge, arms to the sky, press into the ball of your back foot. Now from here, you may want to use a block. We're going to take the right hand to the floor or to a block alongside the hip, lifting the left arm up and over into a side bend. So lots of length from the left hip point all the way up towards those left fingertips. Keep pressing down through the big toe side of your front foot so the knee doesn't flop out in the same direction as we're leaning. Holding here, big breath in. And then as you breathe out, the arm in the sky is coming to the outside of this front thigh. Right hand comes to meet the left into prayer, and then press your arms into your thigh to twist and look over your right shoulder. The hips are still dropping forwards and down. Press into the ball of that back foot and pull your belly into your spine to narrow at the space where you're trying to rotate. Breathing in. And then breathing out, bringing your hands back to the floor, framing your front foot and lifting your back knee off the mat so you're into a bit of a sprinter's lunge. Now I like to do this from fingertips, so maybe pitching your hands up onto fingertips. We're going to switch the legs to bring the left foot to the top of the mat. So giving a jump and seeing if you can come to land on the other side. From there, so left foot is at the top of the mat. Breathe in, lift your chest, reach your arms to the sky and press your back heel away from you. Keeping that back leg as straight as you can and sinking your hips forwards and down. Holding here, breathe in. And then let's test our balance. As you breathe out, we're going to draw the back leg up towards our chest. So we'll be balancing on our left leg. Big long stride, draw that right knee tall and give it a nice little squeeze. Shoulder blades pin back behind you, and then either stay here or your left hand can come to your waist. Your right hand can hold onto your big toe and you can press that heel away from you. The leg doesn't need to be straight, but the heel pushes away as the toes pull back towards you, and keep thinking of sinking your right hip and your right shoulder back in line with the rest of your body. Breathe in, chest stays tall, shoulder blades stay together. Breathing out. Now you can stay doing this with an extended leg if this is in your practice. Otherwise we can do this holding the knee as before. The left hand is going to come to hold on to this right knee. The right hand to go to the waist as we turn and take the gaze towards the right side of the room. You can then perhaps take it further by sending your right arm out behind you. And if you really want to challenge your balance further, take your gaze with your hand to the back of the floor, back of the mat. Breathing in, keep lifting. If you have an extended leg, push the heel away from you. And as you exhale, draw that arm back to the center. Well done if you still have your balance. And then place your feet together at the top of the mat. Dropping down into a little squatted position. Oh, that was my knees. At the front of your mat, lifting your heels. Coming into our side crow. So we're going to twist in the same direction that we just did. So hands are going to come to the right side of the mat. Finding the chunky part of the knee. and the chunky part of the hip to rest onto the back of the 2 elbows. Keeping the elbows bent, let your chest come forwards beyond your fingertips. Look forwards, squeeze your thighs together and see if you can find a point of balance where your feet will leave the floor. If you're able to find balance here, great. See if you can hold. Otherwise, keep trying. Keep allowing your weight to pitch beyond your fingertips. Squeeze your elbows in and hold your belly in towards your spine. Those that are experienced can try their side crow with just their front arm for support. So bringing your feet back onto the floor, hands turn to face forwards, and then step your feet back into down dog and hips into the sky. Take a nice deep breath in, keep your shoulder blades broad, and breathing out. And then as before, a small step in to shorten your down dog, making this time it's the left hand to come to take the right ankle, trying to hold the inside of the ankle if that's available to you, and then gazing under the armpit, maybe seeing if you can see the sky, and pull against your own ankle. The left shoulder drops towards the floor, and you keep pressing with that right arm. Holding here, breathing in, and breathing out. Lovely. Place that hand back at the top of the mat. The left foot follows, comes all the way to the top, and drop your back knee down to the floor. Make sure your front knee is roughly on top of your front ankle, and then breathe in to lift your torso. Reach your arms to the sky and sink your hips forwards and down, low lunge. Keep lifting your rib cage away from your hips. Breathe in. Breathing out to sink forwards and down. And again, you can choose to use a block under your hand here, but take one more deep breath in to think upwards. And then as you breathe out, left hand comes right alongside the hips, down onto the floor as you lean your body slightly out towards the left, but keeping your pelvis and everything else facing forward. So think of your hips moving a little bit more towards the right to keep them in line. Pulling those right fingertips up and over, but keep your hips driving forwards and down. One more breath in here. And then breathing out, the arm in the sky comes to the outside of the front thigh, hands to connect, press the palms together and twist as you look over your left shoulder. Hugging the belly in, pressing the arms into the leg, and keep allowing yourself to turn. Last one, breathing in. And then breathing out, hands to come to frame the front foot. We're doing our little leg switch, so maybe little fingertips again. Lift your back knee. Think of sending your hips high to the sky, landing lightly as you switch the legs over. Right foot is now at the front of the mat. Breathe in, torso rises to the sky, arms reaching tall into a high lunge. Push that back heel away from you. Squeezing through your left glutes to help that left hip flexor open and stretch. Breathing in. Let's try our balance, breathing out, back leg hops in, knee towards chest, giving it a squeeze. Thinking of thigh drawing in towards your belly, and your shoulder blades pinning back so you're standing nice and tall. Option for your left hand to hold your left toe and to kick the leg away from you instead. Keep pulling the hip and the shoulder back in line so that you're not sort of being dragged away by your own leg. And then it's our right hand that's going to hold either the knee if we have a bent leg, or it can hold the outside of the foot if we have an extended leg. Left hand to the waist, and then turning the gaze to look towards the left. Twisting the torso, option to take the left arm out behind you, and option to take your gaze to that hand if you really want to challenge yourself today. Keeping the breath steady and the gaze steady to help us hold the balance. Breathing in, and then draw yourself back to face center, giving your knee another little squeeze in towards your chest, and then placing your feet together at the front of the mat. Dropping your way down onto the balls of your feet. I'm just going to turn so that I've not got my back to you. Doing our side crow, this time to the left, so twisting the same way that we've just done. Hands go to the left side of the body. The knee and the hip to find that point of the tricep just above the elbow. Hands placed like a plank, get your chest to come forwards. Find those 2 points to connect, and then see if you can lean to allow the feet to leave the floor. Keep your shoulder blades nice and broad across your back, as before, as you're trying here if you're experienced with your side crow, and then try not to use your left elbow. Holding, see if you can hold for 3 to 5 breaths, and keep working on that here. And then bringing your feet back onto the floor and bringing yourself to face forward. So we're going to stay onto the balls of the feet into a toe stand here, lifting your heels as high as you can away from the mat up towards your sit bones. And then widen your knees and bring your hands to the inside of your knees. We're going to drive the knees wide. So think of your heels coming towards each other as your knees push apart. We can then round the spine and look towards the toes. See if we can take our hands to hold our own heels as we balance here onto the balls of the feet. Keeping your gaze steady at the mat beneath you. You can make things harder if you want to by tucking your chin to your chest even more and looking back beyond your heels, so towards the back of your mat. Take a nice deep breath into the back of the body. Feel yourself rounding that little bit more. And then as you exhale, let go of your heels. Let your bum come to the floor, either elegantly or not. Feet onto the mat, knees hip distance apart, and arms reach forwards as you slowly roll yourself down onto your back. Let your knees hug in towards your chest. Give yourself a tight little squeeze. And then allow your knees to fall over onto the left side. Option to extend that bottom left leg to deepen the twist if you wish. And then right arm reaches out alongside your shoulder, gazing towards the hand. Maybe closing your eyes if you want to help the body relax a little here. We're just winding down. Allowing your breath to slow a little. Legs are nice and heavy towards the left, and the arm is nice and heavy on the right. Great, coming all the way back to the center, and then legs over towards the right. Option to extend the right leg if you want to deepen your twist, and then the left arm reaches out and the gaze follows the hand. Sinking that left shoulder down towards the floor, keeping the body heavy on both sides. And then finally rolling yourself back to center. Letting one leg at a time step out onto the mat. Your arms to then release alongside your body. Palms face upwards, eyes to close. And just allowing yourself these last few moments to completely rest. Keeping your focus, your attention on your breathing and on your body. But just knowing that there's nothing that you need to do here. And then taking a nice deep inhale, reawakening your body with that deep breath, maybe finding some movements in your limbs, and then hug the knees in towards the chest. Either rolling yourself onto one side or making your way up any way you like into a simple cross-legged seat. Allow your chest to sit nice and tall, and then drawing your hands together in front of your chest. Allowing your head to bow forwards as you close your eyes to end your practice. Thanks for watching and practicing along with me today. If you'd like some other beginner-friendly yoga flows, you can watch this playlist here, or you can see my latest video at this link. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you'd like to know when my next class is out. So we're going to start this class. Breathing in, arms all the way up to the sky. Bloody Siri.